Did it. Okay. Now going live here. There it is. Now the video's right. The video's right. Yes. Perfect. Okay.
Oh, I see you gave yourself top billing, so if anyone types anything, my face goes away.
What?
Great,
What? Well, I
great.
mean, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Make sure that we plug this up here.
Yay! All right, let's see. Give give people a chance to get in here. Let's see.
Hello again.
What's it look like on yours, puppy?
Ay, 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 why, ay, ay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
great. Well, I'm glad we moved my information up there.
Hey, I'm back. I know we're back. Does it look right, y'all? Does it look right? Because that was a drama. I am. We are answering questions. Commenting and no zoomies. Perfect. Hello to the both of you. Hello. Hey. All right. Cool. So we've got. It's starting to increase. Yay. Cool. 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 Awesome.
No
Awesome.
zoomies.
Awesome sauce. Cool. All right. We'll give it a moment to kind of get everybody's because it's got to give it notify everybody that we're in here so we can do the thing we're gonna do. Hello. Thank you. Yeah. That pillow, y'all. That pillow was freaking expensive. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I did not want to have to pay for what I paid for that damn pillow. I think it was already overpriced to begin with, but this one right here was like, just buy it, just buy it. And I was like, okay, okay. So,
But he didn't
yeah.
cut the tag for quite a while, if he even has yet. Is the tag still on there?
I think
You didn't take
maybe
it off. The tag is still on
it
there. Yeah.
might be. I mean, it might be.
It
It might
might
be.
be. Well, if you didn't take it off and I didn't take it off,
Hmm.
you've done had that thing for months now,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
no
True.
returns. Cheers now.
Mm-mm. Hey everyone, always buy the pillow. Yeah, yeah, I was uncomfortable with what I spent on that pillow. And it wasn't even like at a place that you would expect. Like I would expect to
You
pay.
bought a grocery store
It was
pillow,
a
y'all.
grocery store. Yeah, it was a grocery store. Like I would expect to buy something like that at like World Market or something where the price was going to be a bit higher, and no, that was way too much at a grocery store, but whatever. Like, and granted, it was like the Central Market of Santa Fe, and you know Central Market, they like to like make things bougie looking. So, all right, so welcome to the live. We are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook. So this is your opportunity to ask questions. We are both going to be answering questions. I'm a professional psychic medium, and Blaine is a professional tarot reader. His process of doing tarot, actually, babe, you want to tell them how they can get a question answered by you, or if they want to.
Yeah, everyone. I've got what you can't see is I have three decks in front of me. Deck, let's see, one, two, and three. They're different, made by different artists, different styles. And so when you ask a question, yeah, just put it in the chat one, two, or three. And if there's not one there, then I will just pick at my whatever I feel like feels like the right one for you. And that's kind of my process right now for tonight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. I'm having to save.
But if y'all ever do a session with me, wait, I don't know if you can see it here. I've got a little arm here and an extra camera, and it looks down over the whole spread, so that you get to see the cards. We talk about the cards. It's all over Zoom. It's very easy. But for now, I'll just hold them up, and you'll see how long it takes me to actually get them into the frame because it's backwards, and so my old man brain is just not computing in that way.
Yay. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you can ask, if you want, you can ask a specific question. of either of us, and I will answer whatever you want to answer. Or if you want a message from spirit, feel free to ask that as well. Normally, whenever I do a live, sometimes I will be able to bring people on because of the technology that I'm using. That's not going to be possible today. If it is, I haven't figured it out yet. So y'all are just going to have to be patient and wait till I do figure that out. But yeah, so listen to Blaine's instructions, and then also you can also just submit a question, or you could ask for a message, and that's another way of doing it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, there.
Wait, how many Blaines have you met? Because there aren't a lot of us out there. And also, thank you.
I mean, I was busy in my hoeing year, so I mean, I might have met several Blaines.
See this? He tells me in front of company. This is so that we don't get into a fight. He's this is yeah, nice, nice.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go through here because we got some coming
Yeah,
in.
yes.
Good, good, good. By the way, guys, if you can do me a favor, if you can like this video feed, give me some hearts, give me some love because I'm trying to trigger the algorithms. If you are on a platform that you can do that, if you are not on a platform that can do that, that's okay. Just like and share this video feed if you can, please. Thank you, because I am trying to build my following. Also, make sure that you are following Blaine. That is his Instagram right there at Blaine Reads Tarot. So make sure you guys follow him as well because he's also going to be posting content. Um, and also, like, I have a new book out, guys. I have a new book out. You can get there through my website, fernandomarone.com, or you can just go to Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, or Walmart.com and type in my name, Fernando Marone, psychic, and I should come up.
It's so exciting. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you deserve a Frida pillow, an expensive bougie market Frida pillow.
Okay, so let's try here. Let's do Miriam. Okay, here we go. So let me get her out of your face. Here we go.
Thank you.
There we
All
go.
right.
Okay, so Miriam, hi Fernie. I would like a message from Spirit. Okay, do you want to go first, Poppy?
Yep, I'm on it. All right, Miriam. I got the Three of Wands. So, yeah, this is about like you have made a choice, you are full of passion, and now you just pursue this choice with whatever you're doing, whatever fire you've tapped into, channel it, go for it, be confident, do it. This is all about like excitement and
Mm.
action and like get in there and do it. Kind of looks like he's messing with a martini glass.
Mm. Um, when I am connecting with Spirit, I keep seeing this woman who is wearing. I almost want to say I don't know if it's a unique, like almost if you were to take pearls and make them really big and irregular and there's like a shape around the neck, I'm reminded of that. I'm just not sure this is a necklace. I kind of want to say this is either a scarf or something that feels like a unique, like ruffled shirt. But there's this lady that's coming in and I feel like her picture looks like what I'm describing. So the image of her is wearing this like garb, and this there's just like fluff, like ruffled, almost poofed thing that's around her neck. And she's smiling. So I want to say that she's just trying to let you know that she's okay and that she's happy where she is. It does feel like someone who would have been older, but they're showing me a younger version of them. But again, I keep seeing this image of them dressed like this in this picture. So there's a woman around you that is trying to let you know that she's okay. I want to say she's probably on the level of like uh, either great aunt or grandmother because I kind of want to go up to that level. So I'm feeling like this person would be on that level. Okay. Let's see. All right. Hmm. Here's an interesting one. Could you tell me, Michelle, could you tell me why spirits that I don't even know come to me in my dreams?
Okay, so this is the this camera in reverse direction is going to get me every time. The Page of Wands. So this is telling me that there is similar to that three that they're probably telling you there's something new coming. There's something like a new passion, a new project, a new idea, a new thing that you are inspired to do, like a new discovery. It's like it's all about creative spark, and like it's like a this is like the little kid playing with a sparkler. It's that kind of energy. Like it's so new and it's exciting, and so I think
Mhm.
it feels like that this is a message of like yes, creativity, start something new, connect to that kind of kid energy around that idea.
What's interesting about that, Michelle, is whenever you start to open up to spirit and communication from spirits, um, it engages the creative centers of the brain. This is why people who are artists or who are creatives, who are writers, they have more of an ability to connect with spirit because they open that part of their brain up and they're able to connect in a way where it's allowing for that randomness and that not everything has to be aligned to like a narrative or something that makes sense. It can be something completely abstract. So you are probably triggering or engaging the creative centers of your brain. So that's something to be aware of. What happens sometimes is when we go through something traumatic or we're going through something difficult, we tend to open up sporadically, intuitively, and we become more receptive and open to messages from spirit. The reason why I think that you are having spirits come to you that you don't even know in your dreams is because you're just open and you're not filtering what you're receiving because you're not being clear with your intention. A lot of times when people want to communicate with spirits and they want to have those abilities, they're just willing to open up to whatever. You don't want to do that because if you just open up to whatever, you're not going to fully understand the context behind the messaging or the individual and how they may be connected to you. So you're just opening up to whatever by choice, then you're not being intentional with who you want to connect to. And at that point, you really are receiving information from more than just one source and not a source that you're intending to. But I'm thinking because you are opening up with your creativity and opening up energetically, and there may have been something recently traumatic and difficult that has caused you to open up more energetically and mentally that's starting to funnel in all these extras. So that's what I'm thinking.
And I'll even piggyback on it as we look at this one. It is a little fox in the woods at night. And what do we know? The fox comes in, it's very sneaky, it's very stealthy, and it's very purposeful. And so it is seeming like it's sneaking into your nighttime a little bit carefully. So maybe it's there for good, maybe it's there for not to say that the spirit is there for evil, but there is a sort of like a sneakiness, a caution to
Mm.
this one as well. Um, and so just to be aware of those sorts of feelings around that, perhaps. I hope that that resonates.
Will I write the books I've been thinking about writing?
Well, I can answer that one without even pulling a card. Yes, get to type in. We have both. I mean, I'll just say like we've both written books, and it just sit down and start tapping away. But I will absolutely pull a card on that one.
So I feel like Millie, I feel like you're gonna sit on your ass for 3 years because I feel like you're gonna be waiting for the perfect moment to write, and I think you're under the impression that you will have the right time, the right moment, and you can just exclusively focus on that. Let me tell you something. This thing right here, this took 6 years. It was in production for 6 years. I started working on it. What 6 years from now was backwards? What is that? 20, 20,
2019.
20, 20, yeah, 2019. 2019. Yeah, it was the year prior to the pandemic. So 2019, I started working on it. The end of that year, it was around the same time I started losing weight actually because I had a lot of weight and I lost it right in that time frame. But I got inspired and I started sitting down, writing, and pouring myself into what was in the original version of the book. I got to 6 chapters and then I got stuck. And then I sat on it for 4 years. A lot of stuff was going on, and I was completely caught up and absorbed in those things. And I was waiting for that inspiration. I was waiting for that creativity. I was waiting for the energy to come back up in me so that I could pour myself into the writing again. Never happened. I got tired of waiting, so I hired a ghostwriting agency to help me get it done. And through a lot of interviews and a lot of workshopping of different material over the course of a year and a half, I got it done. But it took me that long to do it. So what I think you probably need to do is you need to just commit yourself to writing down the ideas that you have for the book. Just write down, like give yourself mental diarrhea and write down everything. Get it on paper, and then you can start organizing some of that and creating a structure around it. And then you can start to, because if you start with just one piece, it will start to shift the energy in you, and then you can start to feel that flow state to come in, and then you can start to work on it. But I think you're going to sit on it for 3 years, because I feel that you're just not being realistic with your expectations. I also I do think that these books are gonna, I feel like they're gonna be three, maybe four of them. I also feel like they're teaching stories. They're like teaching stories, almost when you like are teaching a child, or you're teaching a young person about certain things they're going through. I keep thinking that there's stories that are being taught through the books. So that's what I'm seeing.
Oh, that's interesting, babe. So I pulled the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is about like wisdom from previous generations. It's about passing something down, that ideals last longer than we do. So the idea that you want to write this tells me that you want to get these ideas down. But what I think this is also telling, is pointing you at, is the Hierophant is a teacher. And so you might need a teacher. You might need to look for a teacher, not maybe not necessarily a like a taking a class, a mentor figure, but maybe it's just like join a writing group, join something that will help you, that will help guide you, that will help motivate you, so that you can pass these ideals down that you have an idea for. And particularly, it's funny that Fernie mentioned around the idea that these would be teaching books, because this is all about like teaching. This is sometimes pictured as the Pope, or like a religious, it's sort of that idea of religious figure passing down traditions, orthodoxy, but it is about a teacher will come into your path. So look for a teacher. Actually, I'll even change what I said. Don't wait for a teacher to come into your path. Look for a teacher, and then begin, as Fernie said, like you just, my own book, fortunately, I was during the pandemic and I had the time, I was unemployed, and it takes a lot of discipline, but it's just something you build up, and you learn how to, you don't have to do it all in an afternoon. You don't have to do it all in a month, but just start writing like 20 minutes a day. Write 20 minutes a day, set yourself a goal, just build up goals in that way. And then maybe it's at the end of the week, you've written an hour and a half worth, and you have a block of writing, and just keep building it up that way. And that's the only way. You got to, if we think of the finished product, it never gets done, because we don't know how to get there from the first step. But if you just keep taking step after step after step, you're going to get so far, and you're going to see that the path is going to twist and wind. But I believe it. Yeah. Like that Hierophant is also a big spirit message. Like that is one of the major arcana, and that is telling you that you will both be a teacher, and maybe you need a teacher to get this underway.
Mm.
Good luck, though. I'm excited.
Angela, any messages for me? And will I ever get a baby, please?
Okay, Angela. So I don't have an answer to this one, because that's not quite how my gifts work. But I got, this camera is going to kill me. The Knight of Wands. And so what I do sense in this question is this is all about your fire energy, your passion, your desire, and putting it out into the world. Like this is a quest around your passion and your what it is you want. So I absolutely believe in, this is a really important, a really burning question for you right now, and it's going to feel like a quest, is what I'm saying. I don't know where the night's going to go. I don't know the end place. It's not a bad sign. It's just telling you. It's just telling me that that is really where your focus is right now. And so I wish you luck in this.
I there's a couple of things with this. One is I do think that you will end up with a baby. I don't think it's going to be an easy or quick process. I keep picking up baby energy at 2 points. I'm picking up baby energy around 2 years and 3 months from now, and then 2 years and 7 months from now. So that's a while. So that we're looking at like probably the end of 2020, going into the end of 2026, the end of 2027. early 2028. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Um, I feel like around that time, I'm seeing baby. So 2 years, 3 months, and then 2 years and 7 months. Whenever I see baby energy, that usually means that either I am that the person is pregnant, that they are celebrating their baby shower, or they're having their baby. Sometimes it can mean if a person is going through the fertility process to get prepared for like doing egg harvesting if they're going to be freezing eggs. But I keep seeing it at 2 points. What I'm thinking is that I'm thinking that there is something that's coming up in 2 years and 3 months where there's a potential pregnancy, and it may not be the one that sticks or that one that actually ends up being an actual pregnancy. It may just be like a chemical pregnancy. And then I think the one in 2 years and 7 months ends up being the one that sticks. So I am thinking that there is going to be a baby, but I feel like it's going to take a few attempts. I do see you trying a few times. I also think you might need to check if you have endometriosis, because I'm seeing inflammation in the interior of the uterus. So there may be a medical condition that is contributing to that, and it's a version of endometriosis or type of endometriosis. I'm not a doctor, so this is not a diagnosis. You need to go to a doctor and get that checked. But I feel like it's a type that is based on um, blood sugar levels. Is that a thing? Let me look. Is that a thing? Go ahead, babe.
So I also pulled this one, hearing what Fernie was saying around the time, and so I asked what to do while you're waiting, and so I pulled the Hermit. So this is telling me that it's going to feel isolating, perhaps in this time. You're looking again. We have an image of looking, old man in the dark with a lantern. It's going to feel perhaps isolating. You're going to feel um, you might have to withdraw for wisdom. There is a sense that we withdraw willingly to kind of go into ourselves for introspection. This is telling you to follow your own path, um, but it does again hint that it might feel isolating. It might feel like you're alone in the dark, and so you're not. Is what is the action I want to tell you. Don't feel like you're alone in this. Um, and if the waiting feels long, just trust in your inner place and trust that you've got this. I
Yeah.
think is what that one is telling me.
So she said, I've done an IUI and timed intercourse in and have lost it 2 times. So it might take 3 times. So remember I said it might take 3 attempts or 3 separate tries. I was looking up if there was a blood sugar correlation, like when you think of like diabetes or like people who are pre-diabetic or diabetic. I feel like the version of endometriosis that you might be dealing with might have to do with a blood sugar correlation. And if your blood sugar is kind of spiking or going through a weird stage, it might be affecting endometriosis if that is something that you have. So when I looked it up, it says while endometriosis doesn't directly cause changes in blood sugar levels, research suggests a potential link between the two conditions. Specifically, studies indicate that women with endometriosis may have a slightly increased risk of type 2 diabetes. And so, what I'm thinking is that there is a link between the two, and you might need to also work on your blood sugar levels and see if there's something going on there, because that might be the link that is preventing you from being able to like go through with the full pregnancy. So I think it's going to take 3 attempts, but I do think that you will be able to have a baby. So like I said, I'm seeing 2 years, 3 months, or 2 years and 7 months around there in between that time frame.
So I also want to say, because I like to read the images and really get into them. So I don't know if you can see they're both facing the same direction, which aligns in that this is obviously a focus and obviously where your mind and spirit is drawn to. But I will also point out they're both, I don't know if you can see, they both have a staff. So you've got support. There's support available to you. And I know it's going to feel like a quest.
Let's see. Do I have any clairs I should could develop?
Okay, so I pulled the Five of Cups for you. And the Five of Cups is about grief and it's about befriending grief. So I don't know if that's an answer to the question or if that is an answer answering that you will be let down by this quest. but it also might be that grief, depending on what you're going through in your life, depending on what you have been through,
Mm.
that gives us. I have lost both of my parents are no longer with us. I've lost a lot of family members, and in some ways, it has given me a special ability in that I understand what it's like for others. And so that becomes so being able to even just being able to sit with someone else's grief and loss is it's not it may not be a quote unquote Claire whatever, but it is a special gift and it is a useful gift. So this is telling me that maybe you have to align yourself with the grief around this issue. It also just may be that we don't know yet, and that is yet to be seen.
So I will say, when it comes to the clairs, a lot of people have misconceptions and misunderstandings about the clairs, and how that operates, how that works. I actually go into it in quite detail in my book, chapter 4, right here. Claire, right there.
Plug alert.
Clairs, yeah. So there's a whole chapter that I wrote on clairs, because what I found over the years when it comes to understanding the idea of clairs and whether people have certain clairs or not, it's all bullshit. Every single person on the planet has clairsentient abilities, clairaudient abilities, clairvoyant abilities, all the clairs. You have all the clairs in your pocket. Most people want to believe that, oh, some people were born, with these abilities, and some people have them, some people don't. Everybody has these abilities. But those of us who were born more sensitive, if we run with it, we learn how to use it, we learn how to develop it and control it, this is what we end up doing. You have every single one of the clairs. You can activate and utilize every single one of the clairs willingly and intentionally. You just have to understand how they operate, because they are already working. They are already operating within you on a regular basis. Sometimes when a person, and what I was mentioning earlier, is if a person is going through a traumatic experience, if they've gone through a loss, which I feel like you've gone through a loss, and and as Blaine mentioned, I think you are also processing grief in ways. When a person goes through a loss like that, it makes them really open, because at that point, they're no longer controlling their idea of reality. Reality just seems to have suddenly shifted and changed, and they no longer feel in control. And because of this, you start to feel open and vulnerable. It takes being open and vulnerable to some extent to allow in experiences, specifically psychic experiences or spirit experiences. So you can develop your abilities, but you first have to understand how they work, and that way you can start to utilize them on a regular basis. Get my book, because I talk about it. So
Someone asked, where can we get the book? Amazon?
Amazon. You can get the book on Amazon, on Barnes and Nobles, and you can also get it on Walmart.com as well. So it should be on all three. It's on pre-order right now. It will ship out on May 6th, my birthday. So that was my gift to me this year.
Whoa,
Seeing my
wait, your
gift,
birthday's in. Wait, when? Oh, shit.
May
Uh,
6th. Please, please,
maybe I gotta get
please.
on Amazon myself here tonight.
um, Here's another one.
Ooh, I want to know how
These
that
will go
goes.
well to Wells.
Oh, Wales has been on my list forever. Okay. Okay, I don't know if this is going to be helpful, and I'm having a hard time figuring out how it answers the question, but I pulled the devil for you around the question of moving to Wales, which it would tell me that, okay, so just first off, let's look at the image here. It's that it's a person, it's a figure with little packages of all these little things, everything in its little cage. And so part of me tells me that, yeah, that does feel like you're going to be organized. Like, ignore the idea of the devil. Like, this tells me that, yes, you're going to be organized, you're going to be in control of all the little things and all the little people. Or it's telling me perhaps that the devil is often a representation of the indulgences that we willingly give ourselves over to temptations, we are in bondage to our own needs and own desires, and it asks us to free ourselves from that. That tends to be the message of that. um, so in that case, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like you around the move, if you're trying to figure out what you're going to do with all your stuff, I would say, have you done a purge lately? Because it might be that you are in bondage to your own idea of
Mm.
what a move should be. Um, but also maybe you're the devil. Maybe you're the one with all the little things in place. It's not really a great answer. I'm gonna look at meanings and see if anything pops out that feels like it would be helpful.
So I feel that this is going to be a process. I think that I feel like you're whatever you've already tried to file, or if you've started the filing process, I feel like there's a weird hiccup that comes up in 3 months. So right now we're about to start May, June, July. I want to say around July, it feels like there's a hiccup that comes up where either you have to submit some additional documentation, or there's a weird um, error or issue that comes up within the system that doesn't recognize some things that you would have to have cleared up first before you can get approved. I do think you will be able to go in 7, maybe 8 months from now. But I feel like in 3 months you run into some issues. So I feel like it's going to be a bit of a process. Part of it, when he was showing me that card, immediately what I was thinking is I was thinking of, let's say, show the card, baby. Let me see the card, please. So if you look at the card, it is the man with horns in red who is got people in these cages and is collecting people in these cages. Does that remind you of someone? Because it reminds me of someone. It also reminds me of all the cages are different sizes. They make no logical sense. They're all different shapes. They are just, there's no organization, and they're just fixating on one type of individual or one type of person. I think there are issues in the system that are going to come up that you might just have to work around. I feel like you'll be able to do it, but it's just going to be a process. And that's how I'm interpreting that. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this looks like what I think it looks like. So,
Yeah, this one is about freeing yourself from bondage. So whether that is maybe you're feeling tied down in your current geography,
mm,
and so it tells me that maybe you are wanting this move, but
yeah,
I can't tell you necessarily how it will go.
yeah. I also think you'll only be in Wales for about a year before you decide to move to an area. Um, well, actually, I feel like you start. I'm ignorant. Please tell me about Wales, babe, because that way. So
Oh,
Wales
well,
is
babe. All
that
right.
kind of
So,
like
okay. So I'm gonna let y'all in. So we have a lot of shared notes on our phone, and one of them is, and I'm gonna put it on there later. One of them is like a shared places where we want to travel to, and we each kind of put our. Wales is in the far west of the UK, and it's actually where the actual true Britons are from. It's where King Arthur is allegedly from. It is rocky, it is misty, it is green, it is like all of the best things of you imagine, like Scotland and Ireland. It is that, and it's this ancient kingdom, and the flag has a dragon on it because they believe they are connected to their Celtic old roots. They speak Welsh. I apologize to anyone out there. It's a crazy language. It looks like it makes no damn sense, but I'm putting it on our list, babe. It's where
okay.
it is.
So the
It is.
area,
It
so
is. It is pretty. It is remote. Let's say it is
but
more.
is it like a large area with small towns in the area?
Yeah,
Okay, and
yeah.
what
I mean,
would be the largest?
the country itself is not huge. It is because I mean, even the UK itself is not big, and it's just like it's like a little nubbin on the side,
Hmm,
on the west side of England.
what would
Um,
the largest place in the largest town or city in Wales be?
uh, the largest I would say is Cardiff is their capital,
Yeah.
or there's one in the north that I can't think of, but they're not. It's not a huge, and it's not hugely populated. It's very probably sparse, except it's
Mm,
a very there was a lot of coal mining that was done there, and then it has no longer being done there. So it's also has been a very depressed area once the coal left.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's very like steeped in old British history and like
Mm,
old British prehistory even.
hmm. Well, I feel like you're going to move into one area of Wales or one town, and then that's not going to work for you after a year, and you're going to move to a different area, possibly the biggest one. So
Yes,
it's just
Aber. I want to say
Aber.
Aberystwyth, but the language is it's pronounced so crazy. I mean, in a nice,
Yeah.
tolerant way, I mean crazy,
Yeah.
but like,
So that you might be there for 1 year when you actually get there, but then after that, I feel like you're going to move to a different town, or a different city. I don't think you're going to stay in that same area. Okay. Um,
okay, so on this question of reconciling with your husband soon, is the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is new. It is new passion. It is new ideas. It is new connection. It is new. Um, it's about action and it's about potential and starting a new project or journey. Strong beginnings, passion discovered, creativity and courage. Um, it's a bold step forward. So it encourages us to go full out for what we want. What is the thing that lights us up inside? And follow it. Now, as this is around the question of you and your husband reconciling soon, I don't know. How do you feel? Like, where do you feel like you are with that? Is that something you want? Is that something he wants? Is that something you both want? You are being encouraged to just do something. So maybe this is a shit or get off the pot moment. Pardon my French. Um, Baby, do you want to jump in? I'm gonna pull a little action card maybe.
yeah, I don't think you're going to reconcile soon. I do think that in about 4 months, we're looking at May, June, July, August, maybe towards the middle or later part of August. There actually is around, there's a either a birthday or celebratory event or something around that time. That may be when y'all have the chance to try to talk through things and maybe talk about the possibility of working on things. I think that you are, I feel like you're trying to bake without mittens on, and you're trying to take a tray and put it in and take it out, and it's hot as hell. It's burning your hands, and it's not really, doesn't feel good, but you're doing it anyways because you believe that this is what's supposed to be. So I don't feel great about the connection, but I mean, you're married, you want to make it work. I think you will try again in 4 months, and you might have the chance again because there's like a celebratory event around that time.
So, as a clarity card or as an action, I pulled the Eight of Coins, which is about hard work. It's about diligent hard work, and there is essence in here that is about finding joy in labor and finding like craftsmanship. Like enjoy your craft. But as this is around your relationship, and it's just telling me that there's going to be work ahead. And I mean, here we see one owl with a hammer, so it might be one-sided work. And so
That
when we pair it with this idea of a new passion, a new feeling the urge for it,
Yeah.
without knowing more, it feels like there is a desire, but there's also going to be a lot of hard work involved in it.
Yeah. Well, look at the cards, babe. I mean, like I agree. Like, I feel like she's going to be doing most of the work and he's just going to be like, like, all right, buddy, like get your ass and like step up if you want to make this work. But look at her, like her hand is in the flames and she's holding on to this reed of hope, but she's burning up. She is burning
Yeah,
up. And then on the other one, she's the one doing all the work, trying to like create the value and the worth for him to want to come back or to want to work on things. But I feel
right.
like I agree with you. It's like one sided. I feel like she's going to have to do all the work and that's just crap.
Yeah, I mean, both of them. There's an image of one hand. It's
Mm-hmm.
not two hands working together. It's one hand doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So it just tells me, and maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he wants to get back together and do the work, and you're not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem like there is a disjoint between the two of you that's going to require some
Yeah.
clarification and some work. But I
Uh,
mean, I wish you luck if you want to reconcile. I wish you all the luck.
and Stephanie's asking anything from spirit for me, please. Stephanie, you can stop typing now. You can stop typing, Stephanie. she's like, she's, she's like, I'm gonna get my message. I'm like, calm down.
Okay, so here we have different deck, same card. This is the Page of Wands that we had earlier this evening. So the message from Spirit. This is like new energy, new passion, learning to work with something new, exploration. There's some wanderlust in here. It's on the being on the verge of discovery, something exciting. So it's encouraging you to embrace your own creative spark and be optimistic. This is a positive card. You never know how good things are until you try.
Mm.
Go for the things that excite you and just do
Mhm.
them.
Yeah, I think you need to have more fun, Stephanie. I feel like you're worrying too much about things that you have no control over, and the things that you do have control over, you're not doing enough to work on those things. I also think you just need to take a trip and have some fun because I feel like you're too bogged down. By yeah, exactly. I need excitement. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go jump off a bungee, like get a bungee and jump off, that's fine. But yeah, like I think you need to go and have some fun because I feel like you're taking things too seriously and you're getting bogged down by everything. There is so much going on in the world right now, guys. There is only so much we can do. And you're going to have to admit to the fact that there is only so much we have control over. Now, granted, yes, we can come together as community, we can work on things as a community, we can try to push towards reforms and changes, but still in our individual lives, separate from coming together and working on things that we might be able to have an influence on, we do have things that are in front of us. For me, I have the responsibility of my mother. I have the responsibility of my own health. I have the responsibility of my work and the responsibilities that come with readings. Those are the things that I have control over. I have control over me getting on an airplane and flying my ass to Portland next week. So I have
Wait,
control over
what?
that. Yeah, I'm showing up. Yep, I'm showing
I
up.
should clean. I should clean.
No, no, don't do that.
Yeah, we have we have only so much control over the world, but we also only have so many minutes on this earth. So get out and enjoy it a little bit. What is it that inspires you? What is it that feels good? And do some of that. It's okay. We get to put down the cares of the world a little bit sometimes and enjoy ourselves.
Hmm.
All right, so this is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, now she's in this lovely little rainbow place, but the Seven of Cups is about, I cannot figure out this reverse. I'm sorry, guys, this reverse direction thing is just breaking my brain. So the Seven of Cups is often about fantasizing about too much. I mean, it's great to daydream and it's great to have ideas and it's great to think about where we are and think about where we want to be. But if we can sometimes get lost in our fantasies, and so the Seven of Cups asks us to just pick one of the cups and do that. Kind of similar to what we were talking about with the last one about life is short, time is short. Like don't get lost in the daydreams. Do the things that you want. um, and because this is cups, this is water energy. So it tells me that this is a lot around, you may be having a lot of emotional energy around daydreams and fantasies.
Brenda, if you haven't recently had your hormones checked, get some blood work done and then have your hormones checked, especially your thyroid, because I feel like something's going on there that might be throwing your system off. If you're starting to feel like super, super um, tired and drained and feeling a little bit moody, I'm thinking something's going on with your hormonal system, specifically your thyroid, and it might be throwing some things off where it may trigger you in ways that you're not normally being triggered by. So if you find yourself being triggered by family or friends like more often than usual and quickly, I'm thinking something's up with your hormones that may be contributing to that. So you might need to check that.
Who will I be meeting soon romantically? We're going to go to the fire deck on that one. That feels like a fire question. So, around this question of who you're going to meet, we have the magician. So, the magician is all about creativity and manifesting manifesting, taking all of the elements that you have within your power and making it work, using this through manifestation, through willpower. This is about, so when you ask around who you're going to meet romantically, I don't think you're going to meet a magician. I think this is up to you, and you get to set your own course. You get to decide who it is you want. You mix up all of the elements in the ideal world, and you look for that person, and then you find them. This is also a card of beginnings. This is the beginning of the major arcana. So it tells me that this is a sign of newness. So maybe this is a new path that you go on to find this person on this romantic quest.
Um, Brad, I keep seeing you meeting someone in I want to say it's California, probably LA. I feel like they are a production. They work in production, so they're like a production assistant or production aide. Um, at one of the I want to say it's either a studio or a performance center. It may not necessarily be Hollywood studio. It might just be like a performance center or a venue. Person's name might start with a C, like a Cameron. So
Okay, I pulled a "What do you do in the meantime?" to while you're waiting card, and it's the Two of Wands. And this one is it's optimism, it's boldness, it's energy, it's wanting more, wanting different. It's two, and it's telling you to get out of your comfort zone and with confidence and self knowledge and take risks. Wanderlust, do something different, a difficult decision to stay or to go. Um, Carve a new path, which totally is the follow up to this thing. Like this is not the universe telling you a thing, even though Ferno just gave you some pretty good specific information. This is you making it happen, and just because this is fire energy, it's telling you to just do it. Fight it, do it, go, do it. Trust your instincts, trust your passion.
are you putting your well question, are you putting yourself out there? Because if you're not putting yourself out there, or you're not even making it a point to like date, and you're just not like my strategy for dating
Oh
uh
boy. Hold on.
is
I'm gonna
my
earful.
strategy for dating is to play by the numbers. In other words, like just I mean,
Wow, babe.
I
Wow.
I was going through my hope period, and that
Thump,
was great
thump,
and
thump, thump.
that was great and fun, but I also was dating, and I wasn't fixating on one person unless I felt something more significant. And so even
Putting
though I would
yourself
date
out
like,
there everywhere.
huh?
He says putting himself out there everywhere.
Okay. Well, not everywhere,
Mm,
but yeah, but like location wise, where are you putting yourself out there? Like try to what I would say is what I used to do something. Okay, I went to a singles mixer in LA. Okay, I think you're going to meet someone. Give it a little time. I feel like you're within 3 months of this. I don't think it's going to take that long. You may not hit it off at first with this person, possibly because maybe y'all it feels like y'all may have met, but then it doesn't end up like happening right away. But I want to say that has more to do with timing. But keep doing it. Like keep putting yourself out there. New York and LA. Okay, good. Keep
But
doing
it's
it.
hard. It is
Yeah,
hard. I will.
yeah, it is.
I had to go to Santa Fe, and I just somehow found one.
Yeah, but don't but don't get stuck on one person, Brad, because what happens is if you start
Right.
dating one person, um and I mean obviously give them a chance. What I mean by giving them a chance is if you go on a first date and you enjoyed yourself, go on a second date. And if something isn't lining up on the second date, then give it one more shot and then that's it, right? But you usually can figure out how you feel about the person within the first or second date. And so that's what I was doing. I was going on dates. I was like having those experiences. I had my friends and benefits, but I also was going on dates and I was having those experiences. And there weren't a whole lot of guys that I was really feeling a connection to. Then I met this one.
The things
He,
things we find out on Alive, folks.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Breaking news today.
seriously, but it's coming. Give it about 3 months. Cameron, or it's like a C name. All right. Speaking of C names, Cheyenne. I need a life reading. I can't do this no more. So we're not doing a full life reading. For me, a full life reading is a 30-minute process. So I'm going to condense that to for Blaine. Does he have a message for you? And then I'm going to dig into you a little bit. You're not going to like my response, but that's okay because you're asking me and you're giving me permission. So, and you should have looked me up
All
before
right,
you
I'm
asked.
gonna I'm gonna try to find you some inspiration because I can sense the frustration. Okay. I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards. This card became the positive answer to another card that was the problem. This is the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups is it is a water sign. So this is about strong feelings. But the page is like a little kid, and it is tap into your inner child. Learn to work with your emotion and your intuition. There's a viewpoint of wonder and whimsy. So if you can try to look on the bright side, try not look on the bright side, like don't ignore your life, but look for opportunities to dream, to use your imagination. It is playful, it is curious, it is sensitive, it's artistic. I don't know if you can see, it's this little happy child in this room full of light playing with a box, and there's a universe within this box, which tells me that it's within your grasp. Look for messages that are rising from your depths. Let softness be your superpower.
Okay, so this is my take on what's going on. I feel like you are feeling like you have been shit on by everyone in your life, and no one seems to understand what you're needing. And also, they don't seem to understand what they're causing you to feel. It's one thing when you are having an emotional experience and you need to bring attention to that, but at this point you've turned yourself into into a litter box, and so everyone is going to keep shitting on you because you haven't worked on establishing proper boundaries with people. You're also wasting a lot of energy on people in your life that do not deserve that energy. I also don't feel like you've built up enough of a supportive community around you, and instead you're just settling for what's been there. And I feel like those are major issues with being able to be self-sustaining, and also to have a support system that is going to nurture you through the process of evolving as a human being. So I feel like you have to stop sitting around and crying over spilled milk isn't going to help you. There's nothing wrong with having emotions and with expressing those emotions, but you can't keep showing up to the same table that's wobbly and crying because your milk keeps spilling. Like you're doing that, girl. Why are you sitting at that table? Well, because it's my favorite table. Well, it's your favorite table because you're used to it, not because it's your favorite table. You're used to these people in your life. You're used to being treated this way. You're used to not setting boundaries, and you're used to not using your voice to tell people what you need and what you don't need, what's going to work and what's not going to work for you. Half the people in your life, in my opinion, I feel are probably not going to be responsive or going to be acknowledging of your needs or of what you're saying, because they're going to turn it around on you. They're going to gaslight you. So you really need to take a good look at all of that, and also take a good look at who you're using that energy up with, because I feel like at this point it's just wasted effort and it's not getting you anywhere, and you're not going to feel because of family. I get it. I get it. This is the reason why I live 800 miles away from my family. There's a reason why I live 800 miles away from my family. And I have intentional time with my family, meaning that if I want to see my cousin, we're going to plan something together. I don't want to just be around family all the time, because family will suck the living daylight out of you if you don't have one of those families that are nurturing.
So I asked as a follow up, like how to deal with the feeling the negative emotional places, and I pulled the Chariot, which is usually supposed to be a really positive card, but like look at the image here. If I can get it in the camera, this person is stuck in the black because these two horses are pulling him in separate directions, and so you cannot get out of this dark place
Mm,
by trying to master both horses. You have it within you, but you have to make a choice. Choose a horse and follow it. It'll lead you to the light. Both of them, like the indecision and um, it sounds like perhaps the boundary issues with family are keeping you in this dark place. You have it within you. Like trust
yeah.
that you trust your inner child. Protect that little inner child from this in this light place, and don't let these horses keep you stuck in the dark.
Yeah. You're splitting your energy. So you need to stop wasting time and energy on people that's not worth it. Um, I don't. When you say let them go, it doesn't mean that you have to like. Okay, you no longer exist to me. Bye, and then live the rest of like 80 years in the future. Like you're like I never had to like make it possible for people to reach out to you if they want to, but they need to come back into your life if they're going to come back into your life with new terms and conditions set. The only way that you can provide them with terms and conditions is if you actually spend time with yourself, surrounding yourself with nurturing energy and people, understanding what your terms and conditions are because you figured out who you are. Right now, you're too much of a people pleaser and it's not helping you because they still don't like you or they're still treating you like crap. And you need to work on that. You don't always have to please everybody. You can be a bitch. It's okay. I'm really good with being a bitch and I'm happy with being a bitch sometimes. So,
It's also, don't look at everything black and white. There are more than two choices out there. There are
yeah.
always more than two choices. There's
Yeah.
a middle ground with anything.
Um, go. Andrew, any messages from my husband? And I'm going to use hers real quick to kind of adjust this because I'm like, what is going on with the.
Well, it came up again. So I got the magician, which the magician has power, and the magician can control all of the energies and all of the elements, fire, earth, air. Wait, I'm missing one. Earth, air, fire, water. And each of them are different energies within us. Earth is our material realm, our body. Water is our emotional realm. Fire is our energetic energy. And then air is our mental realm, how we think, how we see. And so that this came up around a message from your husband, it feels like it is, I don't know, like it feels like his hands, if you can even look here, the hands are disconnected from the body. And I think it's just like a gentle hand on your shoulder saying, you got this. I
Mm.
know you may be feeling this water energy. You may be feeling, you have the power. This is about, you have the power and ability to create a new life. So I'm wondering if you are having a hard time with the grief, maybe having a hard time with the loss. And this feels like he's just telling you, like, you got this. You can create a new life. I know it's hard at different times in our lives, but it's him encouraging you to be an active participant in your own life at this point. You have it within you. It's the energy of doing. So I think he's encouraging you to do something.
I wonder if have you have you started to open yourself up to dating or to being open to new relationships? Not that you have to, but I feel like you are conflicted because I feel like you are wanting to be open to a new connection and to something new. That doesn't mean it's going to be someone replacing your husband or someone that's going to be, like better or worse. Like it's not about that. Don't compare. You don't need to compare. What I think is that I think you're feeling like you are because you're considering a new connection and a new opportunity for love and just being willing to open up to that again. I think that you're feeling some guilt around that and feeling like you'd be cheating on him or you'd be doing something. So there's this sense of, and I saw your message at the beginning where you were saying that he was coming in a dream and he was talking about he wasn't the same person or he's not your husband. Like, I think that has to do with some of that has to do with you. I think your husband is trying to connect with you, communicate with you, and to let you know that he's with you. But I also think some of you is getting mixed in there, and I feel oh the light moved. The light has moved. Your husband is really trying to get your attention. He's saying follow the light, like because the light moved. Follow the light within yourself. Um, don't feel bad or feel guilty that you are human and you're still here and he is not at the moment. So give yourself grace, let yourself be human, and try to make peace within yourself around your feelings. Because you still got a life to live and you still have experiences to have, and you have the free will to do so and the choice to do so. So
Yeah. And the magician is a sign of something beginning. And
oh
it's
yeah,
you have the power to start something.
yeah, I think your husband loves you, baby, but I think you're just giving yourself a hard time about it. um
Okay, so I can't answer the actual time frame, but this does feel like a really good sign. It's the Queen of Coins, which tells me that you got this. You are planting your own reality. You are harvesting it. You are managing your resources in the way that is appropriate and that is sustainable and that is that will generate more abundance. Um, and so, and she's sitting down. She's feeling relaxed. This feels like that. Yeah, it is about financial luxury and security. This is like Mother Earth. So it does say that you need to take care of more than just wealth. That you need to perhaps, I don't know if you have a family, but this is the idea of Mother Earth knows how to take care of her whole family, and maybe it's not always reaping the plants, reaping the fruit before they're ready to harvest. Like you'll know when the right time is the sense I'm getting there, but I don't have a specific clock for you.
Um, I feel like you're not staying consistent with your efforts in your business, Mary. So there's a couple of things around this. One is I feel like you're gonna attempt to reformat or to remodel the business two or three separate times. The thing about it is when you're not able to stay consistent within a business, it is a huge risk because what happens at that point is you're essentially changing things on people and people don't like change. Like if people like something, if they find something that they like and it changes on them, or something changes about the process of having it or getting it or using your services, like that is going to mess with people. Um, what I'm reminded of when I think of this and I think of you is I'm reminded of someone that I tried to coach years ago who was a very gifted psychic and a medium. And one of the things that she kept doing was she kept changing her website over and over and over again. And I said, stop. I'm like, come up with something that you can stick with and be comfortable with that for at least a year. Do not make any changes. And if you are going to make changes to the website, be very subtle in those changes. You don't want to just like throw it all away and start with a completely new site because it changes the vibe and people start to feel a little less of a solid consistency coming from you. So you need to stop bouncing around with some of the changes or some of the things that you keep adapting with the business because I don't think that's doing you any favors. I do think you will get to a place where it's profitable, but I don't feel like that's going to happen until the middle or latter part of 2027. 2027, later 2027 is a good year for you, but you're going to have to make a decision because you can either keep putting effort into your business, which seems to be doing all right and producing, but it's not where you want it to be at, or you can end up choosing to either get a promotion or grow in the job that you have at that time. And you're going to see the money versus the passion and what can come from the passion. Someone who has been in business for 10 plus years, stay consistent with what you're doing in the business. Don't change things up on people too often because they will not stick around.
I also asked for
See,
an
look at her.
action.
She just said, Mary, yes, this makes sense. I just changed everything around. See?
Oh, so
Mhm.
I asked an action. What can you do to facilitate it coming faster? And it's the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups is about community. It's about friendships. It's about fulfilling, sustaining relationships in your life. And so I think lean on your community. Lean on maybe that is some that maybe that's friends helping out, watching kids. I saw that you're a single mom. I was raised by a single mom, and so I absolutely know what that story is like. Um, and she did lean on her friends and her community. So if you have community to lean on, friends, loved ones, I think that being able to do that will help push you further down the line. But yeah, Mother Earth, you know what you're doing. You've got it. It just may take a while to build that throne, but it'll be built solidly when you do.
Mhm. Um, I totally was going to say something and I forgot. Um,
See that, folks? I left him speechless. That rarely happens, I might add.
yeah, of course. Business wise, I got to guys, if you can do me the favor, if you can like this video feed, send me some, give me some hearts, like tap, 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 hearts, hearts, hearts. And then if you can like the video feed, and then if you can share this feed out with folks, that would be greatly appreciated, especially those of you who got readings because you owe me now. So by owing me, what I require in payment is just to share the video feed so you can help me grow the audience. That's all. So that's all I need, right? That's all I need. It's an exchange of energy. And if you screw me over and you don't share my video, I'm not even going to tell you what's going to happen in your dreams tonight. I'm going to say nothing about tonight when you're asleep in the dark. I'm going to say nothing about what's going on there. I'm not even going to bring it up.
Here's where Ferny and Blaine play good cop, bad cop, and that's his response. I might say that when you put good energy out into the world, you will receive good energy. Keep that cycle of generosity and graciousness going. So if you receive something generously, give gratefully in return, which is maybe the nicer way of saying it. Then he's going to haunt your dreams. But thank you, because then he's not haunting my dreams tonight, you know?
uh, let's see. Here's Brian. We got Brian here.
I don't know what to do with my relationship right now. Is it going nowhere? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I love it when the same card pops up from a different deck. So we have the Chariot again around relationships. So even that you're asking about will your relationship work out, just leads me to believe that it's not working out right now. And so perhaps you two are at loggerheads and you are very different. Um, Maybe you feel like the Chariot driver here. I mean, it seems like it needs a Chariot driver to get these horses going in the right way. And now, whether that is you, whether that is your partner, whether that is you together, whether that is potentially outside help like a counselor, um, I will say the Chariot is often seen as a favorable sign. It means that you do have control. It is victory after a period of struggle. So maybe you are the Chariot driver getting these horses in line. But if you also look at the image, that those are knights on a chessboard. So
Mm-hmm.
there is an aspect of strategy and gameplay here. And maybe you're into that, and maybe you're not.
He's not.
Um,
He's not.
but it is, yeah. Remember, it's asking you remember who you are and exactly what it is you want to do, and then do that.
Brian, you need to be really direct and crack the whip with your boyfriend because boyfriend or husband because I feel like y'all are not on the same page. I feel like you're two different people and I don't feel like they're as intentional with the energy that they're putting into the relationship and it feels very one-sided. So that's something to bring up and work on with them if they want to work on it. The thing about it is you can only work on something with someone if they want to work on it with you as well. If you're both committed to the relationship and you want to both have that, the actions will speak for themselves. The action being let's work on it. Not like, hey, let's agree to work on it, but we're just going to sit on our asses. No, let's agree to work on it means let's have conversations. Let's consider therapy, or maybe one of us needs to get into therapy, or maybe we need to look at ways that couples, whether reading a book or looking at a seminar, trying to increase the opportunity to share and connect and build that bond and intimacy. Because right now it doesn't feel like y'all are working as a team. It feels like y'all are just adversaries and y'all are like kind of looking into different directions. I feel like your expectations for him are not aligned with who he is as a person and you might need to think about that because if you are expecting him to rise up to the occasion and fully like be committed and there, it just doesn't feel like he's in his energy. It doesn't feel like he's there right now. It doesn't feel like that's where he's at in his life.
So I pulled a card just trying to represent what your who your partner is, and it's the Ace of Swords. And it's it's not the nicest looking little picture there, but what maybe you can't see, there's a little mouse on this sword. The Ace of Swords is about a new way of thinking, a new way of communicating. This is asking you to cut through all of his bullshit and get to the truth. And if you guys need to move on, you need to move on. A new day will come, and maybe the relationship is this corpse that's rotted away, but also maybe it's this sweet little mouse wearing a crown on top of the sword. But you got to use that sword to cut through the bullshit, get to the truth of the matter, and then work it from there.
A little mousy Tommy, a little mousy Tommy, like, mm-hmm.
And also, like, good luck. I hope it works out. I hope it works out in the way that you want it to work out. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna pull this first one is around a team. Should you work with a team? Two of Wands, which tells me you got a choice to make, or it's a small team, or there's wanderlust. You're looking around for more. It seems like you're ready to move on from this. So around the idea of team, it's telling me maybe you're ready to move on from that idea. And so let's check in with working with a single person. And that already feels like a better sign around single person.
Mhm.
That is the wait, how many are there? That's the 8 of coins. So again, different deck, same card as we had the owl with the hammer earlier. This is around like working hard, diligent work, enjoying the craft, building something that is spiritually aligned. So even in just these two, this is more rooted and grounded, and it's paying off in an 8 of coins. This one is all about choices, and maybe you're going to think like, have I made the right choice? It's about looking off in the distance, always looking for the next horizon. And so it's telling me that I feel like in the scale that you're being weighted, sorry, I can't keep my hand straight on this backward screen, that the idea of working with a single person is going to be more joyful labor for you.
Um, so I think a couple of things, Christy. I feel like, first of all, I feel like the industry is changing and the model for the business, the structure is going to need to change in a way where the part of it where you have help and people helping you, that part of it needs to be set up in a way where it can be interchangeable even if someone's not, if you're expecting people to stick with you long term or that they're going to be around for some time, you might need to rethink that. Just because back when I used to work at Starbucks and whenever I had a barista and they wanted to either transfer into the store or they were trying to apply for a job, I didn't go off of my interview deck. We had like an interview deck we were supposed to read off of. I was like, I don't have time for this. I was like, I just got to get to it because I need to know what I'm dealing with here. So I would ask them like, if you're applying for the job, can you give me at least a year? Like, why do you want this job? Oh, well, I want to work for this company. It's such a great company. I'm like, no, 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 no. Don't give me the corporate bullshit. Like, why do you want to work for this company? Like, why do you want this job? Well, because I want to, I'm like, nah, like literally, like life circumstances. Why do you need this job? Oh, well, my wife's in school and I need a job to pay for her expenses. Oh, okay. That's all I need to know. Can you give me a year of your time and commit yourself at least a year? Yeah, I can. Yeah, because she's got 2 more years of school, so I'm probably gonna be here at least 1 year, two most likely. I'm like, okay, so I know what to expect and I know what to plan for. And people like consistency. They like, right? They like to be able to depend on things. I think that if you're going into it with the idea that someone is going to stick with you long term, or that there's going to be this team or group of people working for you and with you to where it's going to remain that way, I think that that idea is inconsistent with your experiences and with what is the norm in any industry at this point, because people's lives are constantly changing and people aren't always going to be able to be focused or dedicated on onto, they're not going to be able to dedicate themselves to you and to your business. What I would recommend is either one of two things: either work more with people who are contracted to do those things and you have people who you trust to do those things, or try to hire two people and focus more on the person that has the strongest skill set and is doing the better job. And then the other person, just give them what you can give them, but they are your backup. Because if something happens with the first one, because you know how when we work with somebody, we get them trained up and then sometimes something happens and we just went all through all that for nothing. If you get someone trained up and get them to a certain point, then you can start to get them to show the other person or teach the other person some of those same skills, and that's your backup. So that way, if one doesn't really stick and it's the one that you prioritize and utilize the most, you still have a backup that can handle some of the workload in case you aren't able to hold on to both. But I would just say contracting out people might also be the better option, just because those people are going to do that specific job or task regardless, because that's just what they're doing and that's how they're making their money, and they're working through jobs and contracts, whether it's a 1 month contract or a 6 month contract. So I would take a look at that because I feel like that might be a better strategy for having people work for you in a way where you can depend or rely on it. But again, if you're going to hire two people, which I do think you'll hire two people, one should be your backup. And I do think that in August or September, it feels like you're revamping an old project that you didn't think you were going to be able to work on, and then it comes back up, or you decide, you know what, I'm gonna go and do it again, and bring it back up again. And so there's an old project you're going to be working on in August or September. So you're going to need a lot more help around that time. Let's see.
Well, I can't tell you what it's going to be, but it does seem to be whatever you choose leads to the Ten of Coins, which is a source, or I mean, like resources and accumulation and wealth and prosperity. It does ask you to not just focus on building money and gathering money, but um, to try to develop and grow resources that are like family, to grow, that aren't just money. Build things that are spiritually fulfilling, relationships, homes, all those things. Don't just focus on money. Let's see if anything else pops out. Again, nine of coins. So we have another good card of money around luxury. So I don't know what it is, but here we have, like, she looks like a nightclub singer in a field. So I don't know what that is. That maybe that is a farm entertainer, but whatever it is, maybe it's you're building this little house, this little dog house for your. Why can I not? Maybe it's being a banker. I mean, but these are both really promising potential cards for whatever the path should be.
So I feel like you're probably going to go into education and be a trainer of some sort. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be an education for like kids. It could be humans, like humans, adults. Um, yeah, yeah, Bobby, yeah.
Yeah.
It can be uh, training adults. I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be in the education industry. It could actually be more in sustainability, and whenever people are trying to learn how to live more sustainably. But I feel like it's going to be in some form of educational kind of training type thing. I think that you will make a decision on this in about a year from now, and then this will actually morph into something else. Farm entertainer.
I mean, you never know. Like barns have cabarets. You could be the Liza Minnelli of the barn space. You don't know.
Mhm.
That would be a niche market, and it would probably have some money.
Okay, we're gonna do a few more, and then, guys, if you can do me a favor, if you can tap the hearts, show some love, and also thumbs up if you can thumbs up us, and if you can share this video feed out, that would be greatly appreciated because that'll help us to grow our audience. Um,
But as far as the career one goes, this has nothing to do with cards, but I got some good advice recently. Actually, babe, you were there too. It was from a mutual friend of ours, and we were talking about my own career stuff. And it was, she said, do the things that support your values, not support your needs. What is it that you value in this world? What do you value? And then do the things that value that. So if Fernie mentioned education, like if that resonates with you, then find a way to do that. And as he said, like there are other ways of doing it than besides being a poor teacher. But like do the things that key into your own values. And it may just take a little soul searching to figure out, put them on a list of what they are.
um, going through.
Starting to look like Frida there, babe.
Here we go.
Relationship soothe. So I'm gonna have to look this one up a little bit because around this context of a relationship. So that's the three of coins, and the three of coins is like bringing together all of the elements. It's often about like teamwork and craftsmanship. So as far as around the idea of a relationship, it tells me that just because it's in the suit of earth and the coins, that it is going to take some work. And so perhaps it's asking you to um, see, yeah, value the facets in yourself, bring them all together. Don't just, let's say, maybe I'll put it like this. Okay, so sometimes we're attracted to someone with our hearts, sometimes we're attracted to someone with our brains, sometimes we're attracted to someone with our so this is asking you to bring all of those energies together. Don't just settle for someone who lights your fire in your don't just settle for someone who is stimulating. The ones that will last long. So this is often you sort of see if I can get the ring light out of the way and figure out the direction. It's in a sort of church. And a church or a cathedral, they aren't built overnight. They take time. So the idea of will last? Well, I don't know. I can't predict that, but it takes time to build something that is both beautiful and sustaining and will shelter you as a place of sanctuary. And you have to do that by honoring all of the parts of yourself. So if you're just being attracted to someone, I had a teacher at one point in life when I was an actor and I was in acting school, and she said, "Imagine this triangle of jobs." And God, I cannot get it in the screen. So you should take a job, and in this case, you should take a partnership. If the person, so if the job is good for you financially, I cannot. Why can't I get a triangle on the screen? Okay, here, wait. I have an actual triangle. I have an actual triangle. So you should take the job if it's good for. So it can be good for you financially. It can be good for your career, and it can be good for you artistically. And it should at least you should take a job. You should never take a job that's just one of those things. Ideally, we want a job that is financially good for us, creatively good for us, and is good for our careers in the long run. So the idea around the partnership, same thing. This triangle, you shouldn't settle for less. Nothing long standing comes, nothing no sanctuary will come from just honoring a couple of parts, a couple of your energies, scratching certain itches and not scratching all of them. That might be my thoughts on that. Babe, tag team.
Ow! Ow! Y'all saw him, right? Y'all saw him hit me. Ugh. Okay.
40,
Um.
40 plus year old man, folks. 40 plus year old man.
Lola. So here's the thing. I think give yourself time. I feel like you need to really like. I feel like you need to feel your way through all of this because I feel that you worked so hard on your health, on your well-being. You've gone through a lot of changes in your family and grief and all that. There's a lot that's happened. And
Yeah,
because of this, I think that you are trying to fill the void in your life and you're trying to do it in a way where you're trying to summon like an ideal partner or a relationship that will fulfill these things for you. But I would say I think you've got all the tools right now to spend some time and just give yourself a break to stop worrying about a relationship. I'm not saying stop dating. That's not what I said. Keep dating, keep putting yourself out there. And if you're not, then that's part of the problem. But keep putting yourself out there, keep dating, but give yourself time to get to know yourself better. Years ago, when I was in high school, I lost 40 pounds over the summer. I was a heavier kid. I lost 40 pounds over the summer. When I came back to school, people were like, "Oh my god! Like, wow, what happened to you?" And I mean, one of the principals asked me, he's like, are you doing drugs? I'm like, no, I just exercised and I lost weight. But it had an impact on my mindset, on my perspective, on my quote unquote ego. And I had to figure out who I was, but in order to figure out who you are, you have to play with the parts of yourself that you've not really played with before. You have a new body, play with it. You have a completely different outlook on life. You have a different vision for yourself. You have a different perspective. Play with that, because in doing so, you aren't just reinventing your physical self, your physical body. You're not just trying to fill in the void and the space in your life from the people that have left. You are trying to figure out who you are and get to know yourself again, so that you know who you are, you know who you're going to be when you're offering yourself to someone, and you know what you can offer them. um, so I think that you need to play with the energy of relationship and love before you settle down. I do think that you might meet someone at the end of the year that might be a good option, but take it slow, because they may not be in the position to settle down right away. That's not a reason to not give it a shot or spend time with them.
Things that last are built on a strong foundation. And right now, you need to make sure that you are that foundation.
Yeah. Mi- Mikael is, I want to say the name sounds like Mikael. All right. Let's see. The parts of your body you haven't played with
Y'all getting
before.
sassy in that chat.
Oh, message from spirit.
This one keeps popping up tonight. This is the Two of Wands. And
Mm.
so, and even as you mentioned, I mean, I could talk about what it means, but even as you mentioned, you're trying to grasp onto these two things. And I think there's a very, it's trying to hold two different things. So there is a thought in this around choice, and it is positive. I mean, there is positivity in it, and optimism, and it encourages you to make a choice, pursue it, because there is some wanderlust. And so I think probably if you're asking for messages from spirits, yeah, it's just telling you to be bold, live life. This one is very much about living life, going somewhere new, trying something new, and just pursuing it with sort of a full spirit.
Um, I don't know if you made a blanket for them, or if you have one where you have the pictures of them on the blanket, but I keep seeing like whenever someone's like sewing or creating something that's like a blanket or a pillow, but it's, I'm seeing something like that. So I don't know if you've just made one. Um, and either it's torn or it's ripped and you have to repair it, or if you're going to make a second one. But I keep seeing something like that, so I wonder if they're, because I feel like they're bringing that up and they're trying to bring me awareness of that. So if you're trying to either repair one that's already been made, or if you're trying to make a new one because something just wasn't done the way you wanted it, then that's probably what they're referring to. Also, the I'm seeing the month of September, so I want to say that the month of September is significant, whether it be a birthday, death date, or anniversary date. September could also be the ninth of a month if I were going to reinterpret that, but there's a connection to nine or the month of September as well. So be aware of that.
So it seems like, as based on the question you're asking, that you're probably experiencing grief and loss. And so I've just pulled a card for how to deal with it, how to sit with that, how to, and it's the Four of Wands, which is, it's honestly one of the most positive cards in the deck, and it is around happy times at home, stability. Um, it's escape. Again, it's telling you to escape hindrances. So this is like celebrate life. This is telling you to celebrate life. Both of these are different ways of saying follow, and they're both fire cards. So if you're feeling the loss, and there's no reason why you wouldn't feel the
Yeah.
losses, and that's beautiful. But also, I think the message they're telling you is to live your own life, celebrate, and even if like this is kind of a little happy, people at the beach shooting off fireworks or whatever, like treasure what you have and also celebrate life because there's still life to be lived. If that is helpful.
Yeah, really take a look at. She's the one that was stung by the wasp that you helped me get the signatures for. Ah, okay, got it. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, Betty. That's right. Damn girl, have you changed your look? Because I did not recognize you. You changed your look. Um, yeah. Um, I think that you need to. I think you need to have some fun. And live again, because sometimes
Yeah.
we can get so caught up with justice or getting justice, or and I think you've done a lot. I'm not saying you can't keep doing more, but I think that you need to give yourself a chance to have some fun in life as well, because you're still here, you're still human. You're gonna be with them again. You're gonna be with them again. They're gonna be there the moment that it's your time to go, but you're still here, and doing things in honor of them. Keep doing that, but also you need to give yourself more joy and fun human experiences, because you are here. You don't want to show up. You don't want to show up to the steps of heaven where they're waiting for you, looking like a shell of a person, because you let pain eat you up alive in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Because that's not honoring people isn't just honoring their memory. Sometimes we honor people and the memory of them by living our lives with the lessons and the experiences that enriched us, that they've given us. Like, we use that and we do something with it. So use what they've given you in life and put that to use. Use that, have some fun, go and I'm thinking of taking a journey trip soon. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are exhausted and tired, and we are ready to like jump off because we're done. So I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want a private reading with Blaine, go to his website right down here, blainepatricksmith.com. Also, his Instagram at Blaine Reads Tarot. And if you want a private session with me, go to my website, fernandomorone.com. There are a lot of duplicate or fake accounts on social media that are copying my material and using it, and then they will message you offering to do a reading for you, and they will speak in a way that I don't speak. Hello my beloved, or I feel drawn to you. I don't feel drawn to anybody. I don't like people. So don't, so don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Just go to my website,
Yeah.
and if you want a private session, okay. All right, guys, and don't forget, my book is available on Amazon. Check it out. It's paperback. It's also hard copy, and the ebook version is going to be available in shortly. I am working on an Audible version of it, but it has not been recorded yet, so that is going to take a long time, because either I'm going to have to read this book verbally on a recording software and then do the whole Audible thing, clean it up, or I'm going to get this one to do it. But we'll figure it out, right? We're going to figure it out. Like, we're going to make things happen. So,
Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight, and sorry, thank you for those who we were able to talk to. Sorry about those that we couldn't get to. Um, Hopefully, we will see you again
yeah.
soon.
Yeah. We'll see
And
you soon.
yeah, thanks for spending time with us. We'd have been doing a video call with us anyway. So
Bye, everybody.
bye, guys. Thank you.